in our everyday lives, and we found it really difficult to find fresh angles on the topic, especially because the theme of the conference is creativity. So we're going to try and present our topic in a really creative way, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Also, people who participated in the Holland Shake video, thank you.
So first, we'd like to present some statistics that we found online. This is a timeline showing the development of social media. It initially started from postal services at around 550 BC and evolved into services such as Twitter, YouTube, Flickr, all those cut off, Facebook, MySpace, and so on. And in the 21st century, as of January 2012, the number of devices connected to the internet exceeded the number of people on this planet. Every minute of the day, every minute of the day, 684,000 pieces of content are shared on Facebook, 100,000 tweets are sent, 48 hours worth of video is put on YouTube, 2 million search queries are made on Google, and 3,600 photos are shared on Instagram. It is found that 50% of smartphones are connecting to Facebook every hour of every day. In July 2012, Americans spent 74.0 billion minutes via 74.0 billion minutes on social media via home computer, 40.8 billion minutes via app, and 5.7 billion minutes via mobile web browsers, a total of 121.1 billion minutes, which converts roughly to 236,000 years. Monthly active users of Facebook were 1.06 billion as of December 31st, 2012, which was an increase of year to year. If Facebook was a country, it would be now third largest in the world, behind China's 1.34 billion people, and India, which has a population of 1.2 billion.
Zeg een antwoord.
Ja.
Insecten.
Dat lief?
Volgens mij insecten op je rug. Kan dat?
Ja, vlinders.
Slovenie, Slovenie.
Ja.
Moto, oranje. Wat erop? Zenit.
Oui, oui, ja.
Je hebt een vriendin, Julie.
Ja.
Een goeie liefdesleven. 3, 4.
De vierde, daar zijn eigenlijk meestal open, dus dat weten niet veel mensen.
Is plus hoor. Maison rouge, balcon, blanc. Ja. Ik zie geld, ik zie transacties, maar kent je rekeningnummer van buiten? Ik denk dat ik het wel weet. Het staat wel negatief op je bankrekening.
Ja?
97, last month you spent 200 euros on alcohol. Vorige maand 300 euro aan kleding gespendeerd. 8,
Ja.
5, voor een huis dat van eigenaar gaat veranderen, 750.000 euro.
Eigenlijk.
41.
Ja.
Juist.
Ja, dat is het.
Everything you share on the internet can be found. In addition, even if you believe you deleted a post, it is still there because the internet is permanent and every web page ever created is backed up in some way. You may not think that this information can harm you, but potential employers and universities are beginning to use the internet and social networks to look up information on people who apply for positions. A simple Google search can yield results on almost anyone, and many other websites specialize in helping people find information on each other. Sites such as Spock.com, where a search of someone's name can bring up personal information, including social network profiles, public records, past education work information, as well as photos, videos, blogs, and websites about that person, help sensitive information to be found easily and quickly. Dozens of these sites exist, and it's becoming easier for companies to filter out job applicants based on the person's background. Universities are using this technology as well. For example, North Carolina University and hundreds of others are beginning to search Facebook for photos and statuses of applicants to look for things such as underage drinking violations or other behavior that may lead the school to believe that the person should not be admitted. Not only does posting personal information close doors to opportunity for jobs and higher education, but it also leaves one subject to identity theft and fraud. It only takes a few clicks for an identity thief to access personal information about the person they have stolen financial information from, and with this, they can completely devastate someone's finances.
Many people believe that if they put privacy settings on Facebook and other websites, then their information will be safe. But it's not true. The police can access almost all the profiles by just requesting it to the companies, and any of this information can be used in any sorts of ways. In addition to websites such as Stockbook, which hasn't been officially released to the public yet, allows anyone to have an access to any of anyone's profiles, even if they're not friends with them. Nothing you post on the internet is completely private, and if you want your information to stay completely secretive, do not post it online in the first place. And also posts you don't even think could produce any sorts of negative results, and those results can have devastating effects. There was a case in the United States that a woman posted a status on, I guess, Facebook that she was going to a concert, and when she came back from the concert, she found out that her money of $10,000 was stolen, and then the police found out that the guy who was friends with her on Facebook saw her post and checked the concert she was going and I guess stole it. Simply posting that you will not be home makes you vulnerable on situations such as the case that I just told you, and you should think before you announce it. And then the internet creates a platform for people to share information, but has many drawbacks. One example is the fact that people are able to use social networks to harass other people. We can easily create fake identity, commit fraud, and cyberbully others because we feel more confident about ourselves using them, and instead of communicating face to face. These phenomena have been major issues in our society lately.
Wait, just to pause the presentation, could you wake up the person sleeping next to you, if there's anyone sleeping? Because
Tommy, wake
she's gonna
up, please.
share something very personal, and I don't want people disrespecting her, so please, go.
There was a recent case of bullying of a young schoolgirl who looked like she had everything together, but in reality, she had more issues going on in her life than one person could handle by themselves. She was type of person who would go and seek the help of others for anything from her schoolwork to the more difficult situations in life. She was the kind of girl who would try everything she could to think of herself. She finally built up the courage to seek help from her friends over Facebook, but she only found the disappointment of her so-called friends because they just became part of the problem by putting her down and calling her weak. She tried over and over again, but all she found was that same disappointment. This outcome led to her to return to her old ways of trying to figure it all out by herself and to make herself out to seem strong. She was really good at putting on a fake smile and laugh. When she was hanging around her friends, and sometimes when she was with her family. Behind that smile and laugh, there was a broken girl who was in need of some serious help, but would find it very difficult to accept and open up to anyone who would offer it. She had ways of dealing with her troubles, but they weren't the most appropriate of ways to handle these types of situations. Some of these ways were to drink alcohol on a regular basis, smoke marijuana, and in a response she would get into a few disagreements which wouldn't always end up very well. Each of these factored in becoming a psychological snowball which each individually could have been successfully resolved, but because they all hit her at once, it all became too much to handle and more difficult to deal with. She silently cried out for help, but felt like no one was listening, so she made the ultimate decision to commit suicide. Decisions that were being made not only affected the people involved, but also affected those close to them. Bullying affects the wider community. It causes people to become so scared that they feel like there is no end to it all. They feel like everything negative is pointed blankly at them.
Our information is never safe once we put it up on the internet. It can be accessed by anyone at any time and can be used in whichever way they please. One of the most common ways is cyberbullying. Through social networks such as Facebook, people feel free to say whatever they want. They can use it positively and they can use it negatively. Either way, they can have a massive impact on some people. Thank you.
Voices,
ideas,
feelings,
rights,
liberty.
freedom.
This is what the social media represents today in the 21st century.
On the 25th of January 2011, the nation of Egypt came together for the first time and demanded their rights and their freedom. The entire world watched in awe as the people of Egypt succeeded in attaining their liberation. Other nations such as Tunisia, Libya, and Syria followed the footsteps of Egypt. But why were these revolutions so successful? How did the people of the Arab Spring manage to come together in an organized manner and express their ideas? It was because of social media, which provided them a platform to finally speak freely and express their feelings, which echoed around the world. accessibility of the social media makes it possible for people to rise up and get their voices heard. A simple status on Facebook or a tweet on Twitter is visible for anywhere in the world, and it is the power of social networking that makes it such an important tool in today's day. Social networking sites and digital communication was used to a large extent in propelling and developing the revolution of the Arab Spring. It was used to communicate the happenings of the revolution of the Arab Spring. It was used to communicate the happening of the revolution to the rest of the world, as well as gathering support and organizing process. It was because of effective use of social media that the Arab Spring came into being.
Thank you. The social networking has now become a symbol of the freedom of speech and expression. I think all of us sitting here can now go on Facebook, go on Twitter, post a tweet, make a status update, and you get your voices heard from all around the world. I'm sure all of you right now also are Facebooking and tweeting as we speak. And today in the 21st century, what is the use of social media? It is now a platform for uncensored, unrestricted journalism. This is extremely important, and it's a step forward towards having a completely democratic world and a democratic society. However, there comes one of the most hotly debated topics in recent times is the restriction and the censorship of social media. And in the past few years itself, we've had quite a few incidents about restrictions and censorship. We've had the controversial incident of WikiLeaks and Julian Assange. We've had China take on technology giant Google, and these are one of the topics which will probably be debated forever. Is restriction needed? Do we genuinely need restriction? Is it a necessary evil, or does it simply curtail our right to freedom of speech and expression? That's for us to decide. And during our theme discussions, we talked about whether social media should be restricted, and if so, how much should it be censored? Moving on, to conclude, we would just like to say that the internet or social connectivity is a complex world of its own. It's a completely different community now. And it's a place where people from all around the world, with different histories and different cultures, people like us sitting in this hall, we can go online, we can share our cultures, we can share our histories, and that is the power of social networking and media today. That is what our theme group would like to emphasize. And it is a platform for free expression, and it is up to us, the future generation, the future of this world, to try to maintain this essence of social networking. Thank you.
There's no doubt that the development of social networking and digital connectivity is bringing us all closer. It allows us to communicate, allows businesses to gain exposure effectively, and allows activists to gain support, and thousands of other benefits can be listed. But arguably, the most important thing is that it enables people to understand each other and each other's cultures.
The project Harlem Shake was possible because of the development of social networking and internet connectivity, bringing us together wherever we are from. We were able to gather and dance together, even though we have different cultural backgrounds, traditions, and so on. And that's one of the biggest benefits of social networking, other than also other social and political aspects. There are 7 billion people on Earth, and there are various cultures all over the world. Social networking allows these people with different ideas and different thoughts together, share their cultures together, communicate, and gradually making the world a smaller place. Social networking is bringing the world together. Thank you.
We all came to this conclusion holding either a positive or negative perspective on social networking, and we were making the same mistake that a lot of people make. We had in our minds already that social networking was either good or bad. With the help of our great advisors, Mr. Jeff Char and Mr. Kathleen Porter, we were given fresh perspectives that made us realize that we were wrong.
From the experience we had with Ms. Miyagi from the Asahi newspaper, we were given the idea of the importance of collecting information, and more importantly, the power of social media in connecting, moving, and inspiring people. Although we introduced examples of both positive and negative aspects of the progress made in the new, ever-expanding platform, we learned one thing. Social networking through online platforms is like a telephone. It is the new shiny thing. Just like how telephones allows us to do both good and bad, it is ultimately us that determine if they're used in a productive manner or not. Thank you for listening.
I think we forgot to thank one person who deserves a lot of credit for the Harlem Shake video, and it's Phi Lam. So he edited most of it, so please give him a loud applause.